Welcome back to another episode of the Kickback Corner / Quarantine Corner with your hosts JB and Will. And we have a guest star today, a repeat star to our show, Dr. Ed Balta.
Hey, thanks, guys. Glad to be
Man.
back. Hope you guys are doing well and staying safe.
Yes, sir.
Likewise. Three-peat star.
Repeat. There we go.
Yeah.
So, I woke up this morning and I was like, April Fools in my head, April Fools, the coronavirus isn't real, was what I wanted to see when I turned over and looked at my phone. And instead, you know what wakes me up?
What's that?
I hear a helicopter. Louder and louder. I've never, 99.9% sure it was a military helicopter over my house.
Wow.
Like flying over my house.
Damn.
So,
What
weird
brings
day
you on
today.
the show today, Ed?
Well, I was talking to Will about important topics about the coronavirus, and I thought a good topic for your listeners is what they can do at home to help their immunity. Because a lot of things we can't control, but we can control what we eat, we can control what we think, and we control what we could do. But a lot of helping ourselves is boosting our immune system and bulletproofing our immune system so we could have a good chance of fighting this thing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What would be, if you were to, on a list from 1 to 10, like what would be like the first thing that you would recommend to help boost the immune system to, help fight this thing off and or just keep yourself protected, so even if you do get it, your body can, fight back without it causing anything, any adverse reactions to you.
Right. Well, let's just start right now with the statistics. 80% of the people who get it are going to do fine. Okay. If you're healthy and you don't have any kind of comorbidity or like other diseases in your body's going to do good. Okay. So
I heard
now it's 80%. I don't know if it's dropping, but right now it's about 80%, but go ahead.
I heard diabetes and high blood pressure is a big issue as well.
The four things are diabetes, high blood pressure, kidney disease, liver disease, or any kind of like immune suppressive disease that you have, basically.
What does the high blood pressure have to do with that? Just a question. I'm just wondering.
Well, your body is working a lot harder. Your heart is working a lot harder. And so basically with the high blood pressure, it kind of lowers your immune system a little bit. And so your body's fighting so many battles at so many fronts. And so that's why it's going to be harder for it. But, out of the four that I just mentioned, I think it's the least prevalent as long as you're taking the proper medications and things like that. I think you'll be all right.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But as far as going back to your question, as far as what we could do, and again, I always focus on what you could do versus what you can't control. So you always want to focus on things that you can control. So things you put in your mouth, you can control. So let's talk about that and how to, what to avoid. Let's start, before I tell you what you should be eating and what supplements you should be taking, let's talk about what you shouldn't be eating. So no gluten, of course, no sugar, and no refined starches, okay? And definitely no processed food. We want to stay away from the processed food as much as possible. And everything that I just mentioned right there is pro-inflammatory, okay? So it causes more inflammation in your body. So we don't want anything that causes more inflammation in the body. We want to decrease the inflammation. So staying away from dairy is another good thing because that's a pro-inflammatory and mucus producing. And so when you eat dairy, that's going to cause more inflammation and more mucus, which the bacteria and the viruses just love to be in that kind of state. So we want to stay away from those kind of foods, basically. Okay, and definitely no artificial sugars. So things you want to stay away from. Common sense stuff, and so you want to kind of try to cut down as much as possible. I know you can't cut it out 100%. If you can, more power to you. If you can't, let's minimize that.
Yeah. Can I ask you a quick question before you keep going?
Yeah.
I've always been confused. gluten and sugars and what it like gluten, what is the characteristics of gluten? Like what kind of foods are gluten in?
Well,
Like
I
what
think
Wheat.
Will could tell you because Will, you're a gluten-free person, right? You don't eat gluten.
Actually, so lately I've kind of I've cut out more of just all the processed food.
Good.
Um, gluten gluten seems to react with because I have chronic inflammation already.
Right.
But since I cut out all the processed food, it's like my symptoms are like nil to none. You know what I mean?
Good.
So
Good.
the gluten is kind of like a product of the wheat. It's like
Yeah.
naturally in wheat.
Right.
So I feel like it's a balancing act. Like if you're gonna, like I'm plant-based, right? So there's no processed foods, no sugars, nothing. The only sugar I get is strictly from fruit. The only carbs I get, like the highest thing the most processed thing I have that I eat is whole grain wheat bread, and it's Ezekiel bread basically. So
Yeah.
if I turn over the package and look at the ingredients, if there's something I can't understand in the ingredients, then
Okay.
I won't buy that product.
Okay.
That's smart.
So yeah, anything that if I could understand what everything is, except for sugar. If it says sugar, I won't buy it. I know what sugar is, but I still won't eat it if it's in there. It's an additive you don't need,
Right.
really.
Like I said, no artificial sugars, no additive
Yeah.
sugars if you can.
Yeah.
So
So, but
gluten
yeah, go ahead, John.
gluten would be in pastas and rice and stuff like that. Is
Yes.
that?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. All right. So it's
Yeah.
basically any type of you know
Wheat
bread other
bread.
than
Yeah.
what you're talking about, your
Yeah.
Ezekiel bread, stuff
No,
like that.
even the Ezekiel bread has, well, not as much because it's sprouted. You know what I mean? It's like it's natural. Like they use natural seeds and all that stuff. When you look in the bread, you see the seeds and all that stuff. There's no processing in it. Gluten is mostly found in wheat, and
Right.
it's like a natural ingredient in it. But a
It's a
lot of
natural
people,
occurring. It's a natural occurring that like when they say gluten free, they actually have to take it out basically.
right?
Okay.
Exactly. There's a lot of like vegans that will eat like make like art I don't want to say artificial, but like fake kind of meat products out of they'll use pure gluten. So a lot of people who have like I don't know issues with their stomach or whatever,
Celiac. It's
they
called celiac
yeah,
disease.
celiac disease is one.
Yeah, where you can't process the gluten. It gives you
Yeah,
actually problems with it.
yeah. Yeah, I mean it's a very like heavy like ingredient. Like it's really like gummy.
The
You know
best
what I
way
mean?
I
So
heard the best way I heard of it is like what it does to your intestines. It's almost like a pipe that's been like you know how it builds up film on the inside of it, like after some like your sink pipe basically, where it
Yeah.
just builds up crud around it. That's what it does to you basically. You know, that's
yeah,
the best
Ah.
way to do.
Yeah.
That's the
yeah,
best way
Oh,
to talk and tell it about it.
yeah.
okay.
All right, and
Yeah,
now
and
let's
it's
go
I
ahead.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah,
well, I mean it's also if you think about it like you're talking about foods that we need to eat, right?
yeah.
Or need to stay
Or no,
away from.
things to stay away from.
Yeah. And it's not just a one-way battle. It's like it's almost like if you're eating foods that you need to eat, like I talk to people like, well, I eat a lot of vegetables. I go, okay, what else are you eating? Because it's like basically saying like your gas tank needs gas, right?
Right.
So you like, I put a lot of gas, put like half a tank of gas, and well, what else are you putting? Well, I pour some transmission fluid in there. Like you're adding in ingredients that are kind of like eliminating the benefits that you would get from the good like whole foods, right?
Right. Right. Right.
So, and with gluten, when you're eating it, if it, like you're saying, like it basically coats your intestines, right? It makes it
Yeah.
hard to digest,
Yeah.
but also your intestines work with a process where it absorbs the nutrients from those good foods. But if the gluten's like blocking your intestines from absorbing that stuff,
Yeah.
you're not getting the benefits of eating those good foods. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Wow. Okay.
The best
Yeah.
way my professor described it, like the glue part of it, it's like glue. It just glues to your intestine walls, basically, you know, and it weighs you down. But
Yeah.
listen, I mean, in moderation is still good. Kudos to
Right.
you, Will, that you gave it all up. And some people have to give it all up because of the celiac disease. So they can't even eat it because they get a lot of problems with it. And so there's other diseases that you can't process gluten as well. But, that's one of the things too. But again, I always say moderation is the key. Don't overdo it. Be mindful of how much you're eating, and I think you'll be in good shape. As far as what you should be eating, and Will just touched on this, I'll go really fast because there's a lot to cover, and I don't want to take too much time from you guys. Plant-based food, eat the rainbow, lots of greens, a lot of colors. Organic grass-fed meat if you want to eat meat. Organic grass-fed meat, organic chicken, organic fish, wild-caught fish like salmon, sardines, and herring. Those are all good fish to eat. And additive that you could add to your food, which is great, that will help boost your immune system, is garlic, onions, fermented food like sauerkraut, and then also some kimchi. Those are always good prebiotics. They have good prebiotics in there. Okay, so those are good food to add throughout your whole diet during the day. Plant-based is really good. I know, Will, you're doing that, and that's awesome. And if you want to eat meat, organic grass-fed meat will be good, or organic chicken will be good as well. Okay. Now let's talk about supplements, because not everybody is good as Will on sticking to a good diet. Will,
I take the supplements too.
You are my hero on that, because I am not close to what you been doing, and kudos to you on that. So let's talk about the important ones, and then we'll talk about what else you could do. Again, you don't want to bombard your body with so much vitamins that you can't absorb it. So you got to be careful how much you take too, because once you take way too much, your body doesn't absorb half of the stuff that you're taking. So it's got to be good quality, number one. And so when you take a vitamin, make sure it's good quality, and don't overdo it with so much, like double the amount of that's needed. Basically, a lot of people think, well, if they say 1,000, I'll take 2. Well, you don't need 2,000. Basically, your body's not going to absorb that much, and so you got to be careful on how much you take. So I'll start with the easiest one, where everybody knows. What's the one thing you take when you have a cold? Vitamin C, right? And so vitamin C is highly recommended right now, because it's been showing through some studies, and I have to read the study for you guys. Basically, it's been showing with the high amount of vitamin C, it's able to reverse some of the effects of the coronavirus. Okay, so and you don't have to take that high. About 1,000 milligrams of once a day of vitamin C should be really good. Okay, so that's a good starting point. But you go up a little bit higher if you want, but really, to be honest with you, 1,000 is about right, and your body will absorb that. Okay, so vitamin C is a key ingredient. You want to also supplement your diet with vitamin D3, and you got to be careful not taking vitamin D2. You want to take vitamin D3 because it gets absorbed in your body faster. And one way you could do it and not even take the vitamin is go out in the sun, which I highly recommend. Be out in the sun. If you're healthy enough, go for a walk, and that's your body's way of making vitamin D, and that's the natural way of doing it, and there's no better way than doing it. I don't care what supplement you take. There's nothing better and natural than your body doing it on its own. So sunshine promotes vitamin D in your body. Okay.
Let me ask you something, Dr. Ed. What's the difference between D3 and D2?
It's the way it gets absorbed in your body, to be honest with you. I don't even know why they make D2. I'm sure there's some beneficial to that, and I would have to look that up. But all my patients, I always recommend D3 because it gets absorbed faster in your body, basically.
Okay.
And I'll look that up next time. I'll shoot you a text on it or an email on it. Okay. All right. Zinc is a very, very, it's been shown to help you boost your immune system too. And I know zinc is not really like a sexy word or anything, like a sexy vitamin or a sexy mineral that we hear about. You hear about vitamin C, you hear about vitamin D, but zinc is out there. But it really helps out too. And you could take with up to 50 milligrams. I don't recommend you taking that much. The type you want to take, there's different kind of zincs that are on the market. You want to take zinc gluconate. It's gluconate, and that supports your immune system, and it gets absorbed in your body faster. Okay, so zinc is really important. but you can get it from food too. But if you need to supplement it, like I think with all the vegetables that you eat, I think you get enough zinc. But if you need to supplement it, a good supplement would be helpful as well. Okay, so zinc is important, and other ones that you want to supplement your diet with, which I love this one, fish oil. You want to have some fish oil, omega-3. You want to put that into your diet. That's an anti-inflammatory. It's good for your heart. It's good for your arteries. It's good for your veins. It just brings the swelling down naturally in your body. So if a person is really naturally just inflamed, this is a good product to use. And fish oil omega-3 up to 1,000, 1,200 milligram a day should be sufficient, and that should work really good. Okay. Now another one that's been showing a lot of good results as far as helping out with the symptoms. And give me a second here, because again, I don't want to misspeak here. I want to just go by the research and the data that I collected from my sources here. Is melatonin. You guys heard of melatonin?
Yeah.
So it's a natural occurring hormone in our body, but as we get older, it decreases. So basically, they're saying melatonin really helps helps out with the symptoms and treating the COVID-19, basically. Now, and one of the reasons I did a video on this is why do kids are not affected as much, like children, not affected as much as adults are, even though they could get infected, but they're just not affected as much, is because they have 10 times the melatonin in their bodies than we do. Okay? So because of that, the melatonin is a really, it helps out with the immune, it's a good antioxidant, not an antioxidant, anti-inflammatory. So it's an inflammatory mediator in the body. And it boosts your immune system. And so it's really good to take. And they're recommending 1 milligram a day. You could take up to 10. I don't recommend that much, but 1 milligram a day. Take it at night because it'll help you sleep better too. Okay. So
I was going to ask, I've heard of, what's the difference between that and serotonin?
I'm going to have to look that up, Johnny. I don't know.
Melatonin isn't melatonin also, it kind of affects your pigmentation, like your skin, like tone, like that has
No,
I think you're thinking of something else.
No,
Melatonin,
melatonin I heard is what it gives it helps the receptors in your brain. It makes you feel joy.
That's
yada.
serotonin. That's serotonin.
That's serotonin.
Okay.
That's serotonin.
All right.
Yeah, dopamine and serotonin.
So melatonin is the one that helps you go to sleep.
Hang on one second. I'll show you the bottle. 1 second.
Sure. Because from what I heard, from what I remember at least, serotonin, that's the one that gives you the good feeling. Melatonin is the one that helps you fall asleep.
Yeah, there you go. So this is it.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So I would take it at night. 1 milligram at night.
Imagine taking that like 8 o'clock in the morning. You're sleeping at work.
I mean, listen, it's a natural. So it's not like it knocks you out. It just helps you sleep better. So even if you take it in the morning, you can still function. You're just gonna be a little bit maybe,
groggy,
drowsy, but you can still. It's not gonna knock you out. It's not designed to knock you out. It's just designed to relax you more. So melatonin, I did not know this, to be honest with you. And when I learned about it, I thought it was something interesting to share. Is using melatonin to help fight the effects of the COVID-19, and that's 1 milligram a day. And
I was thinking of melanin. Is
yeah,
the one
that's the skin. Yeah. My last one, and it's hard to get, but I do have access to it. It's liposomal glutathione. It's a powerful antioxidant. It's a really good antioxidant that you can take. And any kind of antioxidant that you could take to not have so much radical cells in your body, radical-free cells. So an antioxidant is a good thing to take, and liposomal glutathione is a good one to take as well. And that's it. I mean, you don't want to bombard your body with so much vitamins that your body can't absorb it. And obviously the probiotics, whether you eat yogurt or you take probiotics for it to help a healthy gut, because that's where immunity comes from, is from your gut. So,
Mm-hmm.
From your stomach. So if you have a healthy stomach, healthy, good digestive system with a good probiotic, it helps out tremendously. Yeah. I know I shot a lot of you. I
No,
gave you
that's
guys a lot of stuff, but
No, I
if you
think it's
want, we could write it down on the comments, and people could
yeah.
just
That's
look
what
at.
I was gonna ask you. Could you email me the list and
Yeah.
that way, because I don't know if people are gonna know how to spell lipo something
Yeah,
whatever.
liposomal glutathione. I couldn't even pronounce it, to be honest with you, up
Yeah.
until I read about
So
it.
yeah, but other than eating
Yeah.
and taking supplements, what else do you recommend to help boost the immune system?
Okay, so sleeping, obviously, 7 to 8 hours of good quality sleep, and if you take melatonin, that will help you out. And then and then also, as far as I always say, exercise. I mean, I can't emphasize the amount of exercise, the benefits of exercise. I think to keep a healthy mind, healthy body, and help your immune system, exercise is an incredible thing to do. Whether you just go on a walk, whether you work out inside your house, you have a treadmill, or whether you just go up and down the stairs in your house, something to get your body moving. Moving is like nutrition for your brain. So you want movement, so your body, your brain gets all that good hormones, like Johnny was saying, the serotonin, the dopamine, and all that, and that your brain will start producing all that, and those are all the good feeling hormones, because fear does a lot of things to your body, so you don't want to be in fear all the time, because that will slow down those hormones and put you in a sympathetic mode where your body is in a fight or flight mode, and then therefore your immune system starts shooting down. You're not eating as well, and you're not breathing as well. So you want to make sure you do that. As far as other things you could do, meditation is good. I'm a big advocate of mindful walking. So because I'm good at meditating, I'm not that good at it. I can't do it for too long. So I like mindful walking because I could walk for a long time. Like I just came back from a 5-mile walk. Mindful walking is really good. That's good, where you just focus on what you hear, what you see, what you smell, what you feel, and that helps out. It's almost like meditation, but you're just walking and you get benefit of both, basically. Yeah, I love it. And with the freedom, with the free time right now, there's no reason why you can't go walk outside and get your 5-mile, 3-mile, 5-mile, 10,000 steps a day, and get it done. I do it in the morning and I do it at night. First thing in the morning, I walk, and then at night, and I go for a walk as well. And if you're worried about other people, trust me, go early enough, nobody's on the streets. Go to the beach early, nobody's on the street. Go to the park early, nobody's there. So the 6 feet distancing, there's no issue with that at all.
I think there's enough room outside where you could avoid that at any time of the day, really. I mean, I don't know how things are. I did drive to Huntington Beach a couple days ago just to drive. And man, the beach was still crowded. Like not crowded like crazy, but I was surprised with how many people were outside.
People,
but
hey, listen, man, people have to go outside, man. So
yeah,
they gotta go somewhere. And beach is a good place. It's big enough. When I go in the morning at the beach, the next person next to me is 100 yards away from me. So
right.
on a Monday or a Tuesday, on a Sunday, maybe they're 50 feet away, but the beach is huge. So, it's not like a park where you have a path or like a sidewalk where somebody's walking. And it's funny because even with the sidewalk, when people see you now, they just move out. They know they've been respecting this. I think they've been trained now. It's like, let's move away from this guy for 6 feet, basically. Or you do that. So exercise, I can't emphasize how good that is for you to boost your immune system, get your body on a good regular rhythm, and help you sleep better too, basically. And then, having a good mindset of your brain, where you're at, what you're trying to control, what you can't control. Be aware of what you can't control and what you can control. So always focus on what you can control and let go of things you can't. So stop watching the news and don't put it on all day. If you want a little bit, maybe dedicate 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes at night. I wouldn't even do it at night, but 15 minutes during the afternoon, catch up on the news and let it go, and then move on and stay busy doing other stuff.
Yeah.
That's good for
I
you.
mean, I really think if you have a phone, you don't even need to try to search for news now. It's just kind of, you'll see once you go to Google, there'll be some new article about something new that happened today. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think it's really, you have to search it out anymore. I would just kind of recommend to stay away as much as possible at this point,
Right.
because we know what we need to do. You know, we know what we need to do. Until they tell us otherwise, everybody knows. Don't touch your face, wash your hands, stay away. You know, that's it.
Yeah.
Just be as careful as you can, and
Yeah.
those tips that Dr. Ed just gave us. I mean, it's such minimal, like such small things. A vitamin,
Yeah.
put it in your mouth, eat it, go about your day. Make sure you get a little exercise. Don't pig out on burgers and stuff like that, and you'll be in good shape, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Don't-
listen, some people don't even have to change what they've done. You know,
Yeah.
this is what I do in the past. Like, I exercise, you know, the only thing now, I used to do it in the gym. Now I do it outside or do it on my backyard, basically. But some people have to just change their habits because they've been stuck at home, and now it's like weird for them, you know? So it just depends on how much of a change. And I always advise everybody, do one little thing at a time, change one thing one day at a time. And that little thing becomes a habit. And once it becomes a habit, then you don't even have to really think about it, basically.
Right.
But don't do a lot of things at once, because then it's just going to be overwhelming. It's kind of like, how do you eat an elephant? One piece at a time, man. Don't, you know, you don't sit there.
But don't eat any
all
elephants, because we don't want any more viruses.
No, no more animals that you're not supposed to be eating. But that's another day, another time of where I think where it came from and everything like that. I don't want to get into it right now.
Oh yeah, we've kind of tiptoed on that a little bit the last time you were
So maybe
talking
on the
to
next
us.
one, or on the next one though, if we do meet again, I'd love to talk about what should you be doing if you do get infected, or if you know somebody who's infected. We could talk about that. I've researched that as well, so we could do that too. Okay.
Well, why don't you give us a little, like, just a little tidbit in case someone that's watching this is not feeling so well.
Because it's gonna take a long time.
Just what's the main thing you would suggest to someone that's sick right now?
I would say in the beginning, just stay home and quarantine yourself, and then drink a lot of water and stay hydrated, and just watch your fever, and then we'll go from there, basically. But I have a list of things that we need to do, what you need to do. And it's common sense, but it's always good to say it and then have it, for somebody ready to listen to it. Okay?
All right, cool.
Yeah, we could do that another time, because I feel like we took a long time on this. So,
this is
but
good.
It was important. I think this is important. I think it's, again, you want to empower people with things they could do, not things they can't and things they can't control. So the little tidbits I gave you guys, and I give my patients, that is easy things you could do. And if you're not sure what vitamins, call me, IM me, or email me, and I'll send you a list. And if you're not sure what brand, I could steer you in the right direction, and then go from there, basically.
Awesome.
Yeah. So if anybody has any questions that are watching this video or listening to the podcast, just leave us a message on Facebook or YouTube, and we'll get that question over to Dr. Ed. Sound good?
That sounds awesome. I would love that.
Okay.
I've been getting a lot of questions from my patients. Been doing a lot of videos on my Facebook. So if you want to go to my Facebook page, there's a lot of I do Q&A. Yeah, I do Q&A.
Let's put a link in the description, along with your list of things that could help during this.
I'll email you the list, and then I'll put my Facebook page on there. And I would love for whoever is listening to join my Facebook page. I don't only do Q&A about Corona. I'm highly into spreading love and spreading positivity and spreading and making sure that we stay productive. So a lot of my videos are about that too. But I do pepper in the coronavirus. I don't want my channel to be filled with coronavirus stuff. I rather focus on love and positivity, empowering, and staying productive, and how to be productive and how to be active. That's my main thing.
All right.
Just inspiring people, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people are not inspiring people. They're putting fear in their body. I always say, listen, fear is contagious, but so is love, and so is hope. Okay. So if fear is contagious, love is contagious, hope is contagious, and then and inspiring people is contagious. So that's my goal, is to
depends on what you focus on, man. Focus on the good.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you can't control everything, man. I think I saw the best thing is that when you're in an airplane, you trust the pilot. You don't know who the pilot is. When you're on the bus, you trust the driver. You don't know who the driver is. In life, you got to trust somebody. And to me, it's God. I don't know what it is for you guys, but whether you trust the universe, life, whatever you trust, you got to put your trust in somebody. And so it's a good time to trust who's driving this. And in your life, it's God. And so you got to put your trust in him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All good points, cuz. All good points, Doctor.
Hey, man, thanks for letting me jump on your forum. And
anytime, Ed.
I hope you guys have a good night. And
yes,
I hope this has been helpful for the viewership and the listeners. And we'll do it again. Anytime you guys want, we'll jump on again and then have fun with it.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Thanks, Ed. I'm sure everybody will be looking forward to getting more information. So again, I'm gonna post this tonight. So I think it's very valuable as far as the last few podcasts we've been doing. This one's like a good one for people to listen to. So I'll post it tonight. If you could email me the information.
Yeah,
I'll throw it on. Yeah, that's fine. I'll just add it. I'll add it later.
Yeah, I've been on my computer all day, so I'm like, I need to just wind down. That's why I went for a walk. So I was like, let's do this. But yeah, anytime, guys, and keep up the good job, and keep doing what you guys are doing. Keep spreading good news, and let's always focus on the good and spread positivity and empower, uplifting stories and empowering, uplifting podcasts that would help people.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, Dr. Ed.
All right, you guys have a good night.
You guys have a good night.
Make good choices, okay?
All right.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.